G'day, how you going, everybody? My production team are on holiday, so I apologise about the poor quality of the footage here, but I just thought I might share a video on an Isomac Tea machine, spelled TEA, that I purchased a while back with thought of reconditioning it and moving it on type thing. It's a heat exchanger machine. They retail in Australia for around about sort of $2,600. I always like heat exchangers as opposed to dual boilers because it's just a little bit simpler. They mightn't be, I'm not a barista freak. I don't measure everything to the quarter of a gram or anything to get a decent coffee. I just make what I make, and if I like it, I like it. Try and make sure that the machine's working as best as it possibly can, in that it's producing an even temperature at the group, and it's got good pressure and it's clean, and generally that's what I do. And then as for the rest of it, well, that's up to the artisans to produce the world's best coffee with their grinders and all that sort of shit. But anyway, this machine, so it's a single boiler machine. It's a single boiler with a heat exchanger. I thought very similar to a Viebemme, which is the model Viebemme Domobar. I think it's a Domobar Junior. I've had one of those as well, and I loved that machine. It had a really good pressure stat in it. It was an excellent machine, had a really good pressure stat, very basic but effective computer, really reasonably priced if you need to change it. It features an E61 group head, and really robust little machine, and the kind of machine that you could really work all day long without a problem. And I think the last one I had when I picked it up was probably around 15 to 20 years old, and I basically just changed the shower screen in it and took it apart, cleaned it and put it back together again, it was just going as good as a day is long. And then somehow I ended up with an Expo Minore, which is a dual boiler machine, which is far more complex and lots more parts to go wrong, and a PID and all sorts of stuff. PID controller. So that's a for those that don't know, a PID is effectively a digital thermostat, little tiny computer digital thermostat, but they're about when they fail, they're about $200 to $280 Australian retail here, as opposed to a pressure stat machine, which operates, instead of measuring the temperature, it measures the pressure in the boiler, and the pressure is obviously directly related to temperature. So when it reaches the correct temperature or pressure, it switches the boiler on and off. It just doesn't do it in a graduated form. So the pressure stat machines tend to overshoot the temperature a little bit, and then they let it drop off a little bit too far. But for me, as a coffee drinker at home, it's not a major one. I haven't really, as I said in previous videos, I'm not a barista. I am not a fastidious kind of guy that looks for a quarter of a gram of coffee grinds at a certain micron, pouring out a quarter of an extra gram on the conversion to when you're making your coffee, when you're extracting. So I just look for something that's robust, it's going to last a long time, that's going to give you good service and make bloody decent coffee. So the Viebemme Domobar, really robust, really excellent, highly recommended, can make steam all day, can pour coffees all day, just doesn't seem to blow up. I thought the Tea would be fairly similar. It's a single boil. This machine that I'm just about to show you, it's just here. It's a single boiler machine, E61 group head. It has a heat exchanger, and I was told when I purchased this one that the lights all came on, just didn't heat up. So I went, don't believe you. But anyway, sure enough, got it home, none of the lights came out, dropped my safety switch. I thought, straight away that's done the element in the boiler. It had. I thought it probably also had done the little thermatic temperature cutoff unit switch, which in this model, which is an early model, is this little fella here. It's like a little transistor looking thing. It sits up against the boiler. If it gets too hot, it cuts out. So I thought it had blown. That actually hadn't. On further inspection, I'll try and move some of this gear away. On further inspection of this machine, I found out that it actually had pinholes in the boiler. Now that's something I haven't seen. But then it's rarer to get a boiler that's stainless. Most of the ones I've worked on have been copper, and they've been pretty robust. Yeah, the stainless, just tiny little pinhole, so it was weeping out of one spot in a couple of spots. I thought about welding it up and getting a friend of mine who's a stainless welder to weld it all up for me and seal it up. But I opted to go and buy a new boiler because I thought, oh, just in case, I don't want it blowing up. So that's it there. That's it there, the little machine. Now, with these machines, they're a fairly robust little unit, pretty solid. However, I'll just point a couple of things out to you. In the machine that I bought, which was an early model, it runs one of those little fill computers. It's a Pro L Industries, and they're very expensive to replace, and they're very hard to find. Not only that, it runs the full 240 7 amp switching through this little box, and I thought, oh, that spells disaster for me. I don't like having massive currents going through these little computers. They're really, they're designed to take it, but they don't take it very well, and they don't last very long. So I thought, look, I'm going to grab this one out. I'll upgrade the wiring. So in this machine, what I've done is I've upgraded it to the new model TIA or to the Millennium wiring. So I've taken the circuit diagram out of the Millennium, the Isomac Millennium, and I've rewired this machine to suit that, which is the same as the TIA, which involves this little guy here, which is an SSR relay. So it's a solid state relay. So all the heavy switching, all the 240 volts, 7 amps, or what it, like it's 140 watts. So I don't know. Watts divided by volts gives you amps. So it's probably pushing out arguably, say 4, 5, 6 amps. So it's drawing a lot of current through that little guy. So it doesn't switch through the computer. I've put in one of the a little G-Car computer. I don't know if you can see that, the little G-Car computer, which is much cheaper, much more readily available, and very basic, and rewired the machine. And I think what I've got now is something that's quite robust. It should last a long time. I've also pulled the group head down. I've seen some guys saying about, don't pull your group head and put it in citric acid. It'll take all the chrome off it and all that. What a load of bullshit. Pull the whole machine down, take the whole group head apart, take the group off, drop everything, take it completely to pieces, drop everything into the acid, including the group handles, everything. Leave it overnight hot in citric acid, and it will come up a treat. It will go back together. It will not affect the chrome. Look, I haven't yet to pour a shot off the machine, but it's all working beautifully. Would I buy another one of these TIA machines? I'd want to have, before I was going to buy one, I'd want to know that I was getting one with the SSR, with the relay for the switching and the different computer. Otherwise, I would be very reluctant. I reckon the retail price on this machine is new 2.5, roughly Australian. I'm thinking second hand in good working order for an older one with the old wiring. I'm thinking probably your price is around about $1,000 if it's in good working order. And I'm thinking for the newer one with the newer wiring, it's around $1,200. So it's directly comparable with the Viebemme Domobar. I'd say a lot of I noticed when I replaced the boiler was actually the part that was supplied to me, which fitted this machine, was actually a Lapavoni boiler. But I haven't found a similar model to that. I think it's a 1.2 litre boiler, so it holds a fair amount of water. Would I buy one? Yeah, if I got it for the right price. If I was going between the Viebemme, which unfortunately I don't have to show you, which unfortunately I rehomed, I'd probably go the La Viebemme. Just think it was a little bit better made, had a much better pressure stat. This guy's just got one of those little generic cheapies that's in there. It's just a fairly generic cheap little unit. On the upside, it's easy to replace. I don't think they're quite as robust as the other ones. I've already done a couple of those in various machines that I've had. But yeah, overall, so I hope that's been worth watching. I hope I haven't wasted your time. Yeah, any questions, just post them in the link below, and yeah, like my thing if you like it. All right. Well, thanks very much, guys. Have a good one, and hope your coffee machines are going really well, and last a million years. And yeah, any problems, yeah, perhaps post a question if you've got a question for me. I've probably been doing this a fair while now, and I mainly concentrate. I do larger machines, but I mainly concentrate on single group head domestic tanked machines. But I also do dabble in larger single group head direct connect machines. In fact, I've got a Grimac up on the shelf, which is about to be my next project, and I've done a few expo bars and yeah, whatever. So if you've got any questions, if you've got a problem or you've got any questions, yeah, give us a scream, and I'll maybe see if I can help you out. All right, thanks. See ya. Bye.